Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from cold and gloomy, rainy, dark, oldie, probably bones everywhere from Roman soldiers who died long ago, London. Here for some workshops and obviously was there for the Midnight Summit. And it's been a hell of a day, hadn't it? So we were doing executive workshops and woke up this morning, the market's tanked, and I said, "Oh, that's bad." And then somebody pulled me out of a meeting and said, Charles, looks like we have a network partition. I said, "Oh, on the test net. Yeah, I heard about that yesterday." He said, "No, on mainnet." I said, "Oh, okay." And so I said, "All right, well, I've been drinking some whiskey tonight. It's going to be a fun day." So yesterday on the test net, there was a malformed, very specially constructed delegation transaction that took advantage of a bug in a cryptographic library from that's been around since 2022, so very obscure, that created a network partition over there. So throughout the night, the engineers worked on a hotfix and were pushing the hotfix out actively to people on mainnet before an attack occurred on mainnet. So we didn't know if this was an honest action or a malicious attack. Then this morning, I think around 8 or 9 a.m., our time here in London, the malformed delegation transaction was done on Cardano, the mainnet. It was directed towards me. It was a delegation to my pool, Rat's pool. So whoever did this was sending a message, and that is what it is. And it created a network partition. So basically, there were two chains, and we said to all the SPOs, you need to upgrade. So currently what's happening is the SPOs are upgrading and they'll continue to upgrade throughout the day. And the old chain that doesn't have the malformed poison transaction will overtake the other chain. So currently blocks are being made on both sides. The network didn't stall. When reconciliation occurs, there'll be one network again, but the blocks on the poisoned chain will be orphaned. Now, many of those transactions in that chain can be replayed on the old chain, but some cannot. So there'll have to be a reconciliation step for that. This is one of those things that happens infrequently, but the protocol was designed to survive these types of attacks. And this is a very rare one because the attack looks like it was linked to a bug that has since been fixed. So if you're a retail user, you have Daedalus or any of this other stuff, there's nothing you need to do. If you are a SPO, you should have already been in contact with us. But in the off chance that you haven't, please install the latest release, 10.5.3. Throughout the day and the night, people will continue installing, we'll just get it sorted out. And there'll be some reconciliation and cleanup that has to happen afterwards, but that's always the case. Cardano didn't go down, network didn't die, didn't stall. It just keeps running, and it can survive these catastrophic events. It's really the worst case scenario for a cryptocurrency, and these things happen. Now, I want to say a few things. First off, it was like old times. We war roomed all day. Jer and I were with Agalos, actually, because he was in town for the workshops, in meetings with the Cardano Foundation, Intersect, and Emergo. And I personally would like to thank the Cardano Foundation, Intersect, and Emergo for their professionalism and their attentiveness here. We all worked together, set our differences aside as one team. And you know what? Everybody was exactly what they needed to be. So I'm proud of their work. I'm proud of the time and effort that they put in. And there was prompt and assertive communication throughout. And so I'm glad that the institutions were able to do that. For whatever has been said in the past, hopefully this can lead to a new chapter of collaboration. We'll see. But it was a good day, and I'm proud of the people that showed up, like Marcus and others from the CF to work with us. So that was a bright area in a day that wasn't so bright. So the delegation transaction, the wallet responsible for it is this wallet here. And what I'm going to do is share my screen and show you guys a few things. Okay, so it looks like it came from a retired pool that then delegated to my address. So this is the address that delegated to my pool that broke the network. So it's obviously a highly personal attack. And if you do some forensics, it looks like whoever owned this was actually part of the ITN, and this right here was a commit from them from the ITN. So that's some of the data there. So obviously an investigation is going to be done, a very thorough one, because whoever did this kicked a hornet's nest. And in many jurisdictions, this is a felony, a very serious one. It's tampering and damaging a digital network. Maybe it's shits and giggles and they think it's just fun and games. And, oh, look, we kicked Charles's toy. But these things impact the lives and money and commerce of millions of people. It's like trying to shut down an economy. If you conduct a cyber attack on a nation state, there are consequences. So we'll deal with that later. But for now, it's just getting the nodes updated and pushing things through, which is currently underway. People are working on it, and the war room has not disbanded. They've been working for about 14 hours straight since actually the test net was discovered. And nothing the everyday Cardano user needs to do, just take a break. And once the two chains become one, we can work on reconciliation. So there's going to be a working group at Intersect that Jack has already volunteered to set up. And that working group will take a look at all the data on the orphan blocks in the orphan chain and compare and contrast, see what can be replayed and what can't be. And then everything will be taken care of. The exchanges have already, for the most part, locked wallets and halted deposits and withdrawals. And the rest is getting cleared through. So if I had to guess, we should see the two chains become one tomorrow based on the current upgrade rate. And then everything just goes back to normal for the most part. And then there's just some cleanup and some on-chain stuff that has to be done. So a full blog post, including a lot of technical information, will be revealed, will be published here in a little bit, and probably come from Intersect. They're the nice entity to push all this out. The technical steering committee at Intersect did a great job as well. Neil and Kevin Hammond, amongst others, they showed up and were in the war room, and there was just a lot of rallying that was done. It was a really wonderful day from a perspective of people coming together for the greater good to take care of something that they all care about. You know, Cardano is a family, and sometimes we fight, and sometimes we have bad days and good days, and it's not lost on me how difficult 2025 has been for us all. We've had a lot of issues like the ADA voucher scandal, for example. The markets have been lackluster, interinstitutional fighting, and obviously the first year of governance. And everybody's just trying to learn how to get along with this new world order. But the hallmark of a good family is when people, for the greater good, are able to set all that aside and come together and have a conversation with each other as adults and figure out a way to use their skills and knowledge to take care of a problem. And we did that. So the network survived, it didn't stop, and ultimately the attack failed. So I'm proud of that. So we have a lot more work to do, and SPOs need to install the new node, and they're doing that. So if you are an SPO, please do install 10.5.3. It is imperative that you do so, and we'll just push it through, and the two networks will become one soon, and we can get back to business. And further communications will go into a lot more detail about the nature of how this was done, and as for who's responsible. We'll just work with FBI and other partners to investigate that and file any criminal complaints we can as a user of the network, as will many others, because it caused economic harm and damage to people by denying them use of their software, and that's a felony. So it is what it is. These things come up from time to time. It's good to have redundant engineering. It's become clear too that we need to have better SLAs on certain things, and it exposed the need for more vigilance. As good as software can be, we have formal methods, we have property-based testing, obviously the Haskell node. There's more we can do. And so there has to be a retrospective written and after action review. I think it's most appropriately done at the intersect level with all the entities contributing to it to talk about better quality assurance to make sure that bugs like these can't slip through. It's a very obscure, arcane bug that came from a library from 2022. And 3 years later, it was discovered. So someone probably pretty smart, who's pretty familiar with Cardano, stumbled across something and thought that they were being cute and clever. These things happen. It's the nature of software, and occasionally they can be catastrophic. But if you have the right people and the right redundancies in the system, there's a path to recovery. So nobody had to shut the network off, reset it. The network's still making blocks, which is actually ironically part of the problem because the wrong chain is making blocks too. So that'll slow down and the other one will overtake it. And I'd like to thank all the SPOs who have upgraded. If your SPO has upgraded quickly, make sure to reward them with additional delegation. And if your SPO's a little late on the ball, make sure to remind them that they have a duty. So kick them a little bit and let's go get this over the line. And as I said, we'll have some more information a little later. I got to get back to work, get back to the war room, but I wanted to give you guys just a brief update and let you know that everybody's working hard and all the entities are working together. And I think we're okay. Thanks, everyone.